So everything that's been going on begs the question, what problem do the Jesuits have with me? The Jesuits have been banned in over 100 countries in history, which they've no doubt re-entered since then. Pope Clement XIV in 1773 ironically expels the Jesuits from Vatican because of their philosophy, which is the end justifies the means, basically. The Jesuits were started as a military order. Um, the founder, Ignatius Loyola, changed his name into Ignatius, which means to ignite. This is all from the documentary. I'll put it in the comments if I post this video. The Jesuits took over the Inquisition from the Dominicans. I talk about the Trinidadios or some secret society from there in hundreds and hundreds of like 1,000 videos ago or something. But anyway, so that's I think there's no doubt that that's where you get the Dominican Republic. Although I could be wrong. I'll put it in the comments if that's not the case. So in this documentary they claim they got waterboarding from the Inquisition, and I don't doubt it. And the Inquisition probably got it from somewhere else, So when I think about the types of people who I've seen, well, there is a good chance that they were Catholic, and even if they weren't, there's a good chance that they were Protestant. But I don't know. It's just a lot of the women I dated were from okay. Let's look at my ex-fiance, right? I don't think she was Catholic, but she was Christian. In fact, I'm both positive. I think she was some part of the Greek Orthodox or something. Common sense alone will tell you that the Jesuits are responsible for many Christian movements. They infiltrated the Protestant movement, what have you. That's neither here nor there, really. I think that it's some group that's under the Jesuits who in turn are under the Illuminati. And I have some quote about that too. Because there's a lot of people who want to start this at the Jesuits and say that the Illuminati are below them. But if you go to Madame Blavatsky's book, Isis Unveiled, Volume 2, it's also from the documentary. The documentary is called Pope Francis and the Jesuit Wars. There's also a secret class known only to the general and a few faithful Jesuits, which perhaps more than any other contribute to the dreaded and mysterious power of the order. There you have it from some theosophical trash. Anyway, so basic question: what problem do they have with me? It goes back to my list right here. Number one, they're Satanists. What do you want me to tell you? You know what I'm saying? They're Satanists. That explains it all. And I remember way back in the first Illuminati series, I talk about Nimrod and Babylon and the Pope's mitre, his fish head hat, and how he says he's the great fisherman when Jesus is really the great fisherman. And basically what happened is I took a huge detour from the path that led to talking about the Vatican. But even now, I just see the Jesuits as just another mechanism of the New World Order. I think a lot of these documentaries, we have people from, certain movements, especially non-Christian movements, pointing the finger at Christianity, pointing the finger at the Vatican, which is definitely a big part of this, no doubt. That I definitely say that Christians played a bigger role, and Catholics played a bigger role in spreading the Illuminati, without any doubt. Wise out Jesuit monk. So without any doubt, they played one of the biggest roles in spreading the Illuminati. I mean, yeah, in spreading the Illuminati doctrines throughout the world. But it goes back to Western philosophy, which is some of the roots of all this, and that's really where the twist came in. It goes back to Illuminati Part 1, where I said the white man takes the knowledge from Egypt and he twists it, and I say that that's where you get these Illuminati societies and so what have you. That's where Western philosophy is nothing more than hand-me-down African philosophy. Western secret societies are nothing more than hand-me-down African secret societies, if you will. and with the white man's twist, which is what I've been saying since Illuminati Part 1. And so, you know, it's a sacred knowledge, mysticism, and what have you, alchemy from Africa that has been twisted by the white man. And, you know, there was some Middle Eastern people there helping them out, unfortunately, because those people were also somewhat present in Egypt. I think a good way to explain it is all the peoples who were present in Egypt, the Asiatics, Middle Easterns people, you know, sea people from, you know, Europe, you know, Romans, Greeks, what have you, Turks, Persians, all these people are you know, have hand-me-down African religions, and they've turned around and, you know, played the role that they're important, and, you know, is they basically looted Africa for the gold and for the ideas, and they turned around and now they have the gold and they have the ideas and they're the ones presenting. You know, it's pretty much how it is. In a way, it's how Egypt was, because the pharaoh was always initiated into the highest secrets of the secret society structures of the different cults, you know, the priesthood of Amun and what have you. And so when the whites and the Arabs and the Asians and the Persians and all these people started becoming pharaohs, you know, they started doing what they thought was in their people's best interest, and they started presenting it from their point of view, you know, pretending that they're the gods. In a way, that was the tradition of Egypt. I make videos where I blame the priesthoods for that. You know, I say that some of you guys just bootlicked, and, you know, you didn't understand the difference between peoples. But in a way, that was the location of Egypt. It made it so that it was perhaps less racist than other places because of the high volume of diverse people that were there. I talk about the Berbers had a part of town and blah, 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 you know. So, you know, I don't like it. I don't think any black person who looked into it who is proud of being black likes it, but that's how it is, okay? You know, and I talk about it in Part 1, Illuminati Part 1, back in 2009, that there was some level of friendly exchange. Yes. And then I specifically mention that not in these higher occult ideologies, you know. It was the white man going in there by force, taking it, and, you know, and then they repackage it in a Eurocentric package. So, you know, it is what it is, you know. I still hold that occult Jews are the main people behind this. Remember, the Jews, if you look at the Jews, they have a high claim to Egypt. There's a lot of Jews that believe that they built the pyramids. They're going out of their way to do things. They have the finance. So ultimately, the main twist is done by the main financiers, the main people in charge, and it's usually white people and Jewish people. You know, on top of the pyramid of secret societies, if you will, the financial pyramid of life, if you will, and that's just how it is. You know, I don't like it. That's pretty obvious about that. So yeah, it is interesting. You know, I think, you know, that documentary I mentioned earlier, I think everyone should watch that. It was I only saw 2 parts of it. It's about half an hour long. And it's presented very well. I'd argue this probably presented better than any of my videos as far as, you know, having clips and animations. You know, I didn't dare to do that much stuff because I was worried about the whole copyright crybaby. I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to take clips from movies because, you know, YouTube's very nitpicky with my channel. They don't like me. They don't like the way I present it. They don't like who I am. YouTube has never liked me. I've always had a lot of enemies. You know, some people will chop it up and say, well, you talk a lot of shit, you know, which is completely stupid. What I do is I set the record straight. I think that when you're the guy who sets the record straight and people don't like it, they take an extra exception to it. You know, they're like, fuck this guy, because you've gotten under their skin. It's one thing to talk shit to see someone and say, you're a dumbass, fuck you, you know. It's another thing to say some real shit like I do, like I have all my life, and to truly get under people's skin. You know, like what I just said about the Jews and the white people. They know that's the truth. They know that fucking, even according to their own religion, they were in Egypt trying to learn, and they were getting inspired by God while they're in Egypt. You know, their whole story really starts, really, you know, really gets its with Moses is, you know, when it really kicks off. You know, of course there was Abraham and that and what have you. But when it really kicks off is with Moses. And where were they? They were in Egypt. So they know damn well that I'm right. They know damn well that I'm right. They know damn well that, you know, Moses became the prophet he was in Egypt. They know damn well the significance of it. You know, and of course, as a result, we have, you know, a Jewish wash of things and a white wash of things, and the two combined. Because when you look at who the Jews are, they're white people playing Jews. There's some people who may be related to the real Jews. I really don't know what to think about that. And then they have white people playing Jews. So of course it's a whitewash and a Jew wash, because that's who they are, and they don't exactly deny that. You know, if you ask a Jew what he is, you know, I don't think he would say that, oh, he's 100% Jew. He would say, well, he's some sort of a mix between a white person and a Jew. So what, you think it's coincidence that these are the people in charge? You know? So yeah, like I said, you know, at the top of the pyramid are occult Jews is what you'll find. But not far below them, you'll find, you know, white people, you know, Catholics, Satanists, occultists, white people who like to play, you know, the Eastern philosophy role, such as, you know, Hitler adopting his swastika from, you know, Indian and Hinduism and these cultures, you know, these symbols. And they talk about the Vedas, the Vedic scripts, you know, in Hinduism, right? And they say that, you know, they try to connect it with white people, and they, you know, they credit white people with the main Hindu teachings, you know. And, you know, it's complicated, you know. It is what it is, you know. I think that it's impossible to look at this with a clear mind, because that's really what I am. I'm the neutral guy. I'm black, I'm white. You know, for me to have decided which race am I going to identify with more, it wasn't just me looking in the mirror. It was me doing soul searching and saying, who are the good guys? Who are the humble guys? Who are the spiritual guys? Who embody God the most and who embodies the devil the most? You know, I'm not being racist at all when I say that I believe that black people embody God more than any other race. Remember, there's Jews in my tribe, you know, black and fucking white. And, you know, I don't have anything against Asians. I study martial arts and this and that. You know, when I look at it, who embodies God the most, I'd say African people. Who are the most spiritual people? I would say African people. But at the same time, I don't think that there's any African religion that is better for society, better for the world, than the Arab religion of Islam. So there you go. You know, the Arabs started, you know, the Arab foundation of you know, which the Arab people gave us Islam, you know. One way to look at it. Of course, you'll meet people who say that Muhammad was black, but you know, I think it was Arab, at least Arabish. Anyway, so there you go. You know, that's pretty much what I wanted to say in this video. I think there's a lot of good information about this, you know, and you know, all the different Vatican societies, the Knights of Malta and the Jesuits. They seem to be, ironically, they seem to come up more than the Templars do. You'd think the Templars were like this major group that, you know, is a major part of society and life. And, you know, from my research, I haven't really seen too many people who are really, you know, known Knights Templars as key factors. The closest thing to it, I'd say, is that Hitler saw himself as a Templar. He was trying to mimic them a bit. You know, he was trying to mimic the Templars and the Knights of Malta a bit. And then you saw, you know, in Freemasonry, you see one of the degrees, you know, the Knights Templars, you know, and there are different knight degrees and what have you. So, yeah, you know, I think that is quite interesting that these kind of crusader groups that are famous, you know, aren't really around anymore. You know, it's like the Pope went after them, and that was that. And the Pope even kicked out the Jesuits at one point, but I guess, you know, they kissed and made up at some point in history. You know, so, you know, I talked about earlier in this video Pope Clement XIV in 1773, and I don't think any of this at all is a coincidence. There's your kind of hatred for the Vatican. There's your infiltration of the Vatican. I don't think there's any strong proof that the Vatican was always this conspiratorial, though it makes sense if it was, but the main proof shows us infiltration of religions by Illuminati-like groups. Thank you.